think, that is also an action. I speak, that is also an action, and I physically act. So the attitude towards the action, that attitude is a mental state. And that mental state, I got an AI web camera, so sometime it shows. Oh, cool. Yeah, it moves, it goes back, it goes forth. I said I'm just understanding. Attitude means the mental state. Mental state normally, mechanically, habitually is dictated by the emotional dependence, likes and dislikes. That is one option. So what our Eastern wisdom says, if we consciously change that attitude towards each action, fear, anxiety, stress, duality, they just dissolve themselves. And it results into peace and happiness. That is also what happens in the mantra. You need not to think that these mantra, you have to simply think about these mantra. Thinking means that you remember and recall. So the more you recall, it creates an impression in the mind, and once it creates an impression, it replaces those past impressions of the fear, duality, anxiety, etc. So let us see what you do. Just close your eyes. Just eyes are closed. Now check the body. Body is comfortable. The mind looks at the entire body and you feel sensation, comfort and steadiness. Now look deep inside the forehead in the space. Because you are conscious, you are aware, living consciously and in awareness will not invite the emotional bondage, hence no moment of fear or anxiety or duality. Their impressions are already accumulated in the reservoir of the mind. So because you are able to see the space deep inside, the space means emptiness, blankness. Now in that space, you simply remind the mantra, the first line of the mantra, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Let everyone be happy. So now see, the statement appears as if I am blessing everyone to be happy. No. The knowledge behind has to be contemplated, reflected. What is contemplation and reflection? You are inquiring about the statement. Why let everyone be happy be there? So we learn from the Eastern wisdom that happiness is our essential nature. What does it mean? Happiness is the essential nature of every living species on the earth. From mosquito to elephant to the tiger, everyone is looking for peace and happiness. So you are thinking along that line. You are repeating. Oh, so just, you see there, okay. Everyone is looking for peace and happiness. I see all actions of all the living species is moving, is an aspiration, is desire for the peace and happiness. Why it is so? Because happiness is our essential nature. So even with eyes open, you are thinking of that. Yeah, you think like this. So when you are thinking like this, you are cutting the emotional bondage that causes the fear. And
How do we know that? How do we know happiness is our essential nature?
that is what I just explained. Your mind was somewhere else. Everyone is looking for peace, from the
Oh, I see.
mosquito to the tiger to the elephant. Everyone, unconsciously, animals are unconscious, they do not have a free intellect. We have a free intellect. So if we analyze and observe that why I love peace and happiness. So why the mosquito? You touch the mosquito, you touch the elephant. Everyone is looking for peace and happiness because we are always looking for our nature.
Okay.
It proves that peace and happiness are our essential nature, and there is no fear and anxiety in peace and happiness because you
But
cannot.
why are we looking, if it's our essential nature, if it's who we are, then why are we looking for something that we already are?
That is why we live in ignorance. Eastern wisdom is a journey to move from ignorance to wisdom.
Because the problem is that we don't always feel happy.
We don't always.
No, I don't. Isn't like sometimes do you always feel happy? I mean, I think the problem is too many times we go off of our feelings. Like we expect to always feel happy all the time. But is
Yes.
that even possible? Don't emotions come and go, and aren't they transient?
Emotions belongs to the mind, not to the real self.
Correct.
Emotions, thoughts, fear, all belongs to the mind. We are not the mind. And
You're
the
right.
mind lives in ignorance. So that's why we feel the peace and the happiness are transient, they come and they go because they are experienced in the mind.
I see.
So second part is the same thing, part of the mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve bhavantu, sarve santu niramaya. Let everyone be in the state of the well-being. When I say that and I think everyone is looking for the state of the well-being, everyone. Why? Because it is their essential nature, it is also my essential nature. When I think in this way, then I am breaking the shell of the ego. That ego is supported by the emotional bondage. That results into the fear. So when you break that shell of the ego, that very I-ness, the fear, anxiety and duality does not remain there. But I'm telling you, my friend, you have to remember this every day in the morning. First line, first line, let everyone be happy, let everyone be in the state of well-being. Third line is that let everyone be blessed. Means the grace and the blessing should fall upon each and every being on this earth. How do I know that the grace and the blessing was there when I woke up in the morning? How do I know? How simple to know. Ego ego creates a will. We forget it. I woke up in the morning, I am alive. That proves that the grace was there with me. You know,
Every sure can.
What happened?
I was like,
Yeah, they said I'm just learning. I bought this AI camera. So AI camera, I don't know why, how it uses the artificial intelligence. That is why it is known as artificial. It is not it is a conscious intelligence. So do you see that you have to understand, you have to repeat this in your mind so that it becomes your knowledge.
may everyone be blessed. May everyone be happy.
Yes,
May
first,
everyone.
may everyone be happy. May everyone be in the state of well-being. May everyone be blessed. Now, when you say may everyone be blessed, and fourth line is that let none suffer from misery in this world. Third line, go to the third line. I am already blessed in the morning because when I wake up, I was alive. Breath was going inside. I don't recognize. The ego cannot recognize. And the ego starts working on the fear and the anxiety unnecessarily. That we don't realize. So, understand, you receive the knowledge, you have to retain the knowledge. You have to assimilate this knowledge. Whenever you are attacked by the fear, when you are attacked by the likes and dislikes, that is an emotional dependence. The moment you are attached, you are attacked. And that attack may come in the form of an anxiety and the fear at that moment. Am I not blessed by the existence today? That is why I am alive. That is why I am able to breathe. The air does not say that I will not go inside your nose. I am aware, all my five sense organs are intact. I am conscious. I am living. Where is the question of the fear? You have to say in your mind. And then you have to check whether the feeling changes or not. Where is the fear? Is the car speeding towards me? No. Is the snake going to bite me? No. Where is the fear? Fear lives in emotional bondage. Fear lives in emotional dependence. That emotional dependence brings the body, mind, intellect together, plus I thought, that becomes the ego. Ego is always in fear. You cannot be in fear. Forget about it. Where is the fear? But we create a superficial feeling of the fear. What is that superficial? Like a mirage water. You see the mirage water. You can see. That is why you are saying you feel it. In dream you are attacked by the tiger, and when you wake up you continue to have perspiration. You continue to have that feeling of the fear. It doesn't mean that the fear tiger is right. Tiger is real. And gradually when you wake up from the dream and you say, oh, there is no tiger here, but still you have a fast breathing and palpitation, that is real. That appears real. It does not mean it is because the tiger is going to eat me. That is what you are saying. So unless this mind changes, mind has to change. Why the mind has to change? Mind has to change because mind is living in ignorance, my friend. As long as this mind lives in ignorance, I wanted to cover the second topic, but it's okay. It's important that you should understand again and again. This today you understand and you follow this. Don't leave this week. Don't say that you don't have time. Then we will take up the step number 2. Now see that what happens. Pay attention. You are wise so that you get By the way, the guy who left me when the COVID started, and I was telling you, he's paying more than around $20,000 alimony to after divorce. That guy returned, and because whatever he learned for 3 years, perhaps from 17, 18, and 19, that is now bringing the fruit. He has become so humble. He has recognized the mistakes due to the ignorance he committed. He has become the highest level of a seeker. I'm so happy. I'm more happy that he has become a seeker rather than he returned. Obviously, when he returned, so he's paying me.
Yeah.
So now come back. Pay attention. I will repeat in 2 or 3 different ways. You are in deep sleep. And now you wake up. The moment you wake up, you become aware of the world outside, including the body, mind, emotions. Am I right? In deep sleep, we are not aware of this world. The moment you wake up, you become aware of the world outside. By default, because of the millions and trillions of impressions, the way we lived our lives since birth until today. When I wake up in the morning, my mind gives a reality status to this world. But by default, the moment I give a reality status to the world outside, world of people, of body, of mind, of feeling, of thoughts, of fear, of anxiety, everything is real. After giving the reality status, that mind perceives the world is separate from me. Two things happens in the mind. Are you understanding? First,
Yeah.
reality status to the world. By giving the reality status, mind by default says this world is separate from me. Then what happens? Then the mind, because of the past impressions, the sins according to the religion, it says, I will find the happiness in that girl, in that car, in that effort, in that money, because I have given a reality status to the world. So whatever is present in the world is going to offer me the peace and happiness, whether it is a person in relationship, whether it is a material object in terms of the wealth, whether it's a deluded aspect of recognition, becoming an influencer. Then what happens? The mind keeps on running in the world to secure that peace and happiness which is not present there. We live our life, we live our life every day, making an effort, remaining fully busy, having the fear and anxiety, because I have given a reality status to the world. I find this world is separate from me. Because it is separate from me, I have to make an effort to secure peace and happiness from the world, but the peace and happiness is not there. I don't understand this. I continue to live in ignorance because peace and happiness, love and wisdom is not present in the world outside, and I am seeking it, I am making an effort. I don't get it. This causes me the fear, failure, and frustration. Until I understand this clearly. First, I understand, then I wake up in the morning. Mind says it's a real world. No, it is constantly changing. This house is changing, the screen is changing, everything is changing, and what is changing cannot be real, cannot be permanent. Unless the mind lives with this wisdom, you cannot get out of the fear. Now see, this mind plays tricks with us. What the tricks with us? I am again repeating. What happens? We wake up in the morning. I become aware of the world, the body. So what is the reality status? I am the body and the mind. So when I am the body and the mind, then this is the world. If I am not the body and the mind, the world cannot get a reality status. Are you getting it? Or is your mind still dictated by the fear and the frustration? You have to follow that pattern. I wake up in the morning, so that I is the body and the mind complex. The moment I feel I am the body and the mind, this is the world. Because if I don't feel the body and the mind, there is no world. So I have given a reality status to the world. What is the reality status? That this world is permanent. Then this world is different. The world is separate from me. So when the world is separate from me, my mind, because I have given a reality status to the world, my mind says what it says: peace and happiness are outside. Oh, I have to make an effort. I have to make an effort to secure peace and happiness in the world where it is not. It is not there. It's a delusion. Can you show me any object, any person who has the property of peace and happiness? If buying a new car makes you happy, and you say car has made me happy, it means car contains the property of peace and happiness. It is inert. It is unconscious. How an unconscious entity can give you peace and happiness? That we do not understand. So that not understanding is ignorance. Not understanding is the delusion. I don't want to give a status of delusion to the mirage water. Your mind says, no, I see it. It's real. How can you say it is unreal? So when you don't approach near to the mirage water, you don't want to approach near, you don't want to face it, then the mirage water will continue to appear as a real. So what does it mean by approaching near? You are approaching real means you raise your awareness, you want to understand. The moment that understanding goes up, you live in a higher awareness and you realize I should not give this world a reality status. So when you don't give the world as a reality status, what happens to the fear? Fear is not there. Fear is always related to the world. So what is happening that you had a fear last week? It always happened because you have given the reality status to the world in some situation, in some event, in some relationship, some incident. So you did not get it. So there was a pain, there was a loss. So that gives you what? Sorrow. Sorrow consists of fear. Either it gives you sorrow or it gives you pleasure, because I have given a reality status. So if I continue to live with this sorrow and the pleasure that I have been living for weeks, months, years, it has created an indelible impression in your mind. You don't want to remove that impression. So as long as you don't remove that impression, the fear, frustration and failure will continue. Do whatever you want to do. So that fear, failure, frustration in relationship to the world, that causes the delusion. The sunlight and the sand causes the mirage water, which is a delusion. So I have to understand it. So that understanding should live in my mind. What it means. I wake up in the morning and I now become aware of the world. And then what is the knowledge? This world is real as long as I am the body and the mind. Live in it. But I am not the body and the mind. Oh, okay. So where is the problem? There is no problem. So sorrow and the happiness, that comes because the world is given a reality status. It is separate from me. I continue to make an effort. How long you are going to make an effort? There is no peace and happiness outside. Our master says, why don't you understand it? No, I don't want to understand. So there is a sorrow and the pleasure. So what happens? The sorrow and the happiness creates likes and dislikes. What it means? I like you because I expect peace and happiness from you. I think. I create a notion. I dislike you. Why? Because you are not giving me peace and happiness. My all actions go wrong. My all actions are just comes out of ignorance. Are you getting it? My motivation, my intention. What I say, my motivation, intention, or attitude towards action. Attitude towards action. What is the action? Thought, speech, and physical action is wrong. Why it is wrong? It is coming from the illusion. Coming from illusion. So as long as it comes from illusion, you cannot get out of the fear. Forget about it. It is coming from likes and dislikes. So there is one way. I act. I say I act. Act means thought, speech, and action. I act out of motivation coming from likes and dislikes. That is one option. And I act not out of likes and dislikes. I act to connect, to contribute, and to celebrate my life. Only the attitude inside my head is required towards the action to be eternally free from the fear and the frustration and the failure and the stress. I'm laying a foundation even for the following week. our second step is that how to think, speak, and act. Whatever we do in our personal, professional, and social life, the moment we change the attitude towards the action, simple attitude inside, the life will change. Attitude, response, the mental state. Because one example that my master used to give, check whether your attitude has changed or not, how to check it. So my master used to say that before action, during the action, after the action, if your mental state remains the same, you have a perfect attitude towards every action. Your attitude is peace and calm before thinking, speaking, and acting, during thinking and speaking and acting, after thinking, speaking, and acting. Life changes. Means what? You are not affected and dictated by any action, whether it is left complete or incomplete. Whether that action produces a result or not, peace is still intact. Happiness is intact. Understand it again in a different way. When I said I act out of emotional bondage which I am not aware. Every day we wake up in the morning, again I am repeating. Today I wake up in the morning, my mind subconsciously, habitually got ready for the business. I receive a call. My all motivation and intention was based on likes and dislikes, making an effort to secure peace and happiness outside in the world. It is so much habitual, it is instinctive, and it is impulsive. What our masters are saying. Masters are saying that attitude, motivation, intention behind every thought, speech, and action must change. Why it should change? At present, it is guided by the likes and dislikes. It is guided by the delusion. So, as long as it continues to be guided, it will accumulate the same kind of impressions that will be stored in the memory, and when it is stored in the memory, those memories are known as the sins. The sins, you cannot see the sins, but their impact is felt. How come the impact is felt? You have a fear, you have an unfavorable situation, condition, relationship, we have anxiety and duality. That is how the sense shows its impact, visible impact, tangible impact. You cannot see the sense, you cannot see the virtues, you cannot see the merit, you cannot see the demerits. But what we have done in our life, what we have been doing every day in our life, it is constantly creating those impressions. And they manifest into unfavorable situation in the future. And then you blame others, the world. You blame the person, you blame the event, you blame the situation. Why? Because you have given a reality status to the world while you wake up. So whole day passes. Someday does not mean that only the bad impressions are accumulated. Good impressions are also accumulated. So one day you say, no, without learning Eastern wisdom, my days pass peacefully. Yes, it is because of the merit. You have the virtues. We have the sense and we have also the virtues. So the virtues gives it a favorable situation. Whatever the success you have had until now, it is because of the virtues. Our role is nothing. Our role is just acting as a unit. Are you getting it?
Role is just acting as a unit?
Or acting as an individual unit, or acting as a catalyst, acting as a representative. That's all.
And our role in what? In life?
How can you say that you are responsible for success? How much the effort the body puts, you are not the body. How much effort the mind puts, you are not the mind. How much effort your intellect has put, you are not the intellect. Can you achieve success without breathing? So there is a factor, the air is also responsible for the success. Is not the food responsible for the success that we have eaten today? The food has come from outside. You are not the food. How come I claim that I am only responsible for the success? I cannot be. I am only one factor. I am only a very small, insignificant factor to achieve a particular success. How can you say that I am responsible, I am a self-made man? You know, people say to me that I am a self-made. You made your body. You gave birth to yourself. You are a self-made man. It's all a delusion. Tell me, we are only a small, insignificant contributing factor to the success. If I have this attitude towards every action in my life, what happens? The life transforms.
Because you're so humble, or like, where's the transformation come from? Because you're so grateful that you realize that you aren't alone, that everything is you.
You are reaching to a right point because you recognize that I'm the part of the existence. I'm not my ego that is limited. So I'm connecting to the existence. I'm contributing to the existence. I'm of the giving nature. So when my nature is giving, I have a sense of humility, and that humility helps you to receive that level of receptivity. It connects you to the existence. Out of this principle, I will talk later. I'm just deviating to make you aware. We have to talk, but we cannot understand that principle, which has been little bit twisted in the Western world. This understanding is nothing but the law of attraction. I'm leaving that part. I'm just giving you that. I'm not entering into that, because once I enter, it will be out of the topic. So you are right in saying, you rightly pointed out, because humbleness, yes, humbleness means I am not for the ego that is supporting the likes and dislikes, that is supporting the attachment. Ego always exists. Ego exists because of emotional bondage. Emotional bondage is there because my mind gives the reality status to the world. The moment I give a reality status, so I have likes and dislikes, I have pain and pleasure, this is all the delusion. Blame, complaint, fear, frustration, anxiety is a byproduct of my ego. I feel myself so limited. I live into that shell, and that shell continues to confirm the reality status of the world outside because I am the body and the mind. But I'm not the body and the mind. So, as long as I do not dissolve this illusion, this delusion, fear will not go. So now see, that attitude is not the ego. If it is not the ego, then it is not the likes and dislikes. If it is not the likes and dislikes, I don't give the reality status to the world. So it means I have created a big wall. Sins are not going to manifest today because my attitude towards the action is connected to the existence. I am an insignificant 0.1 contributing factor to achieve the success. So instead of the ego, my mind says, oh, existence. Maybe you can use the word God, you can use the word Jesus, you can use anything, or you can just be aware, oh, existence, I am an insignificant partner. One factor is mine, and rest of the factors are supplied by you. Let me have this attitude in my personal, in my professional, in my social life. The next day, why next day? You will change just now. That is, just have that attitude even by thinking. That very thinking is the real prayer. Eastern wisdom says that is the real prayer. Why? I remember that my existence depends on the air that I breathe in, on the earth on which I walk. Can I imagine? Can I speak if there is no space? There is no air, there is no water. And then I say, I'm a self-made man. What kind of a self-made man you are? How dare you say that you are a self-made man? Don't you recognize, can't you connect with the space, air, water, fire, earth? Oh, that made this body. And I am as a consciousness supplied the consciousness into the body. It gave sentiency to the body, to the mind. I stand nowhere. That is how I remember and I connect myself. You are connected to the space, you are connected to the air, you are connected to the fire, you are connected to the water, you are connected to the earth. Ask yourself, do you have any fear now? There is no fear. You are a fearless person. That you is not ego.
Can we go a little deeper? Like, because you say like I'm connected to all those things, like what does that really mean? Like what does connection mean? When you say I'm connected to the air, I'm connected to the water, I'm connected, what does connected mean when you say connected?
I cannot, so called, I feel I cannot exist without air. Can you exist without air?
No, I can't. But there's a lot of things like I could exist without dog, but I feel connected to my dog.
You are connected to your dog because of attachment. And I am connecting to the air because I exist. It's an unseparable connection. I am connecting to my honey because of relationship. That
Because
can,
of it, because of relationship.
yeah, it's a society relationship at the social status of being single or getting married, and then we divorce and still we continue to exist. But if the air leaves me, I cannot exist. That is what the connection means.
Okay.
Connection means connection, once it is connected, it is not left. It is inseparable connection with the space, with the air. Can you think I cannot move my hand if there is no space? I cannot say any word if there is not space. I cannot breathe in if there is no space inside the lungs. That is my connection. I am an integral part of these five elements. I owe too much. What I owe, let me feel consciously that I am connecting to it. Just feel. We are already connected. So when I feel, when I think, when I recall that I am connected to the space and become aware of the space outside and inside. If I don't have a space in the stomach, can you have a luxury to eat any food? Even a single bite? There is a space. So I don't see that connection. Why I don't see that connection? Because of the emotional bondage, because of the emotional attachment, because of the body mind false identity that has created an I thought, and that I thought says I am the self made man, and that ego is preventing me to become aware of this connection. We are already connected. The day we are born, are you connected to so-called your dog the moment you are born?
No.
How can you say you are, that connection is attachment? Do whatever you say, that I love my dog. Okay, you are made to love dogs. Very good. Keep loving the dog. So,
What about people? I mean, I can like how can I feel more connected to like humankind because I don't need people to live. I need air, I need food, I need water. So I understand that concept what you're saying, but there's a lot of things that I don't need. Like I would like to feel connected to all of mankind.
yes, that is the second step in the journey of this connection.
Okay.
So, who says I am connected? So that I is a manifest real self. What that means? The ring, the gold ring is a manifestation of the gold. The gold necklace is a manifestation of the gold. I am deviating, but because you asked me the question. So deviating and then we will come back. Are you clear? That necklace, golden necklace, gold ring is a manifestation of the gold. Clear?
Yeah.
Huh? Clear? When I say ring, it is an individual unit. It is individual. Ring with the name and the form. Anything with the name and the form is an individual.
Okay.
Necklace, bracelet. Same way, that real self is a pure consciousness like the pure gold. We are the manifestation of that real self. I am Girish, you are Michael, you are Nick, you are whatever you are. So every individual is a manifestation of the one real self.
Okay.
Clear?
So then that answers the question
No, I'm coming
why.
to that. Wait. Now, we are the manifestation of the consciousness at the individual level. Now bring all the individuals together. All individuals together at the macro level is the God. So I see you as a God. I move with, I connect. My connection is so natural. My connection is natural. So I see a seeker's mind perceives this entire world as a manifestation of that God, the way the manifestation of the gold is necklace, is a bracelet. Now you have 20 grams of gold, raw gold, biscuit, right? And then out of that 20 gram, you have a necklace plus ring plus bracelet. Because of the name and the form, does the weight increase? It remains 20 grams. Manifestation is just an appearance. It is not real. Behind it, everything is God. So now comes the answer that how to be connected to an individual. I am connected not only to the individual inside, but I am connecting to the God inside and the manifest individual outside. After all, it is all God. All is gold. Whether it is a necklace, whether it is a bracelet, whether it is...
How? So you're saying it's not whether it's a dog or a bird or whatever.
Including
tree,
that,
it doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Every manifestation. Okay. World is
when you say God, when you say, sorry, I have to ask. When you say God, is that the real self? Is that the word for the real self?
God at the macro level, it is God. At the micro level, it is real self.
Okay.
But both are the same. What it means? That is why Jesus said the kingdom of God is within you. So he rightly said.
So Jesus really was a great seeker.
Yes. All these great masters have to follow the same principle. It's a different...
Because Jesus even knew he wasn't his body. That's why he was willing to sacrifice his body and die.
Yes.
He said he knew he wasn't his body.
Not only sacrificing because I sacrifice because if something is me. So he simply said that you don't know what you are doing.
Yeah.
So that is the sign of clear understanding and the realization that he is pure consciousness and this body is just a play of the name and the form. It will come in the go. So Eastern wisdom is a technology which helps us to understand these principles and the phrases and the teachings these masters have made. But I have to make one more point. That is also very important. You have to listen to this again and again. So what I said, the consciousness, the supreme consciousness at the macro level. Consciousness does not have a name in the form. What should I do? So you can offer all your actions to the manifestation. One manifestation is Jesus. One manifestation is my master. Other manifestations are gods and goddesses. So what happens to my mind is so clear. I am not bound and limited and constrained by so-called the organized religion. For me, every manifestation who has reached to that state is God and Goddess. Finished. So
So
I
is
go
my
I go beyond the religion.